Beckelman, reporting for KCR Sports. Today, I will be kicking off the new series called Beyond the Uniform. I will be interviewing Sophia Ramos, a junior on the San Diego State women's basketball team. So Sophia, you have been the top guard on the SDSU women's basketball team the past few seasons. Last year as a sophomore, you averaged 14.3 points, 6.5 rebounds, and 3.8 assists per game. Not to mention you were on the All-Mountain West team, and freshman year you had similar statistics. So what would you say is the biggest factor that contributes to your success on the court?
I for sure think it's definitely my team. My team has a lot of trust in me. They took me under their wing really early on, so I was able to learn from such great players. And then our coaching staff works hard to, implement our skill set and kind of perfect our craft instead of trying to break us out into something we're not. And I think coming here was a big reason. I knew the coaches trusted me, I trusted them, and they're playing me to my strengths.
You said coming here. I see you're from Texas. So why did you decide to come all the way to San Diego State for college?
So I've actually known Coach Nick for a few years now. I was at an A&M camp when I was really young, and he was on staff there, and so we just kind of connected early on. And so when I was getting recruited here, it was a lot of just a comfort thing for me. Being so far from home, I needed a place that felt like home.
hmm
And San Diego's doing just that for me, and our coaching staff is truly a family. Our team is truly a family. These are my sisters. These are people I see relationships with beyond the court. So it was a big thing of what made me come here.
How do you think that you guys built that team chemistry? Because I know that's a really hard thing to get on some teams, and it seems like your team does a great job of that.
I think it's just a lot of just the fact we're always together. We're always practicing, we're always doing strength and conditioning. So you're kind of, we just have a lot of similar personalities with, of course, some differences as well, but we all just get along so well. We're always a laughing group, always looking to have some sort of fun, whether it's a movie night at someone's apartment or it's a day at the beach that next weekend. So I think we're just very big on making sure we connect, and even starting with the freshmen, making sure that they are comfortable because they're far from home as well for the most part.
That's great to hear. So I see you're majoring in kinesiology and you would like to go into physical therapy or coaching. Why is that?
So I actually decided to change. I've changed it a few times. I'm still a kinesiology major with I'm trying to actually get a minor in psychology.
Mhm.
And a lot of it had to do with Mallory getting hurt, one of my best friends here. And I'm looking into like sports psychology or child psychology. Um, I don't think I'm ready to give up sports all the way when I go into the working force. So I think that'll at least give me a way to stay around. And then I've always had a passion for kids, from special education kids to just, everyone else. It's a big passion of mine. And so I think if I can help in any sort of way, then that's of course what I want to do.
I have a few friends who are kinesiology majors, and it seems like they just have to take the hardest classes. They're always studying, they're always doing homework. So kind of give me a little insight of what that's like balancing your athletic career along with your academics.
It's definitely tough, especially this being my first year starting with my upper division classes. These are definitely the harder ones. I've studied harder than I ever have. My roommate will tell you, like, I'm always in my room studying or I'm on the couch studying. And I think our coaches do a great job in terms of focusing on our academics. We're having weekly meetings with our certain coach to kind of check in, making sure you're staying on track. Making sure we're getting the proper tutorings and help that we need. So I think between the coaching staff being so helpful and involved in our academics, and then, just being a little older and everything and staying on top of it yourself, you have to just kind of make your own schedule. And my high school did a great job of showing me time management because I had a very similar school schedule.
How did the coronavirus affect your training schedule?
Early on, it was tough. Being from Texas, they were very strict at first with kind of locking everything down. Also, being from Texas, the flip side is they opened up much sooner than other places. So as it was getting closer, I was able to get in some training sessions with my brother and his AAU coach, and then get into the gym that we have right down the street from the house. So And then my dad worked very hard and my mom worked hard on cleaning out the garage and trying to getting us some equipment to kind of do just some things to stay in some sort of shape.
I'm assuming you also had a lot of free time over the past 6 months due to many stay-at-home orders. So what new skills or assets have you added to your game?
A lot of it for me has just been more studying the game, especially since games have been back on and they were on earlier, well, before we could actually start working out. I sit out in the living room every time there's a game and we're watching, me and my roommate are watching games all the time. So I've definitely been trying to focus more on, especially the point guard spot, so that I can, kind of take some tidbits from there and kind of improve on my game in the same ways.
So I know SDSU put their athletics kind of on a hiatus the past couple weeks because of the huge coronavirus outbreaks here on campus. How did that affect your training on campus? Were you still able to get access to the court or the gym, get some shots up? Tell me a little bit about that.
We were actually put on pause altogether, so we weren't allowed on campus to do any sort of extra workouts. The gym was closed. So at that point, it was just kind of doing at home kind of workouts, which of course aren't always fun, but it's just kind of what had to happen for us. So it was more just at home little things, whether it be like some sort of conditioning without having to run a ton. So it's definitely different for sure.
I mean, speaking of working out in the upcoming season, I know football is going to start October 24th, so I feel like that kind of gives a lot of hope for the basketball season. Have you guys heard any news about your upcoming season?
We definitely heard that the NCAA approved a start date of November 25th. So that's the date that everyone is shooting for right now. And we luckily are moving forward with how many people can be on a court. So today was actually our first day with 3 players and a coach on a court, which of course doesn't sound like that much, but it's a big step in the right direction, I think.
When you're on the court and you're practicing, do you guys have to wear masks or are you tested beforehand?
Yeah, so we definitely do a weekly testing. We luckily have a walk up but no appointment needed on campus now, so that we've been going to. And then we are having to wear masks, so that's definitely not fun. But I guess it's what you got to do to try to move forward.
Yeah. Do you think wearing the mask while you're training, has that improved your stamina at all?
Um, I don't know. We haven't really done a ton of up and down. Today was the first day. It's definitely harder to catch my breath, that's for sure. But I think maybe in the long run, it'll end up helping us out.
Okay, well, there's positives to the virus.